Actually, I don't like it.
We have to make an episode on this.
Yeah,
This
okay.
is a whole new story.
Honestly. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel named Eunhee from North Korea. Today it is a beautiful moment. So as a North Korean defector, also I am a South Korean citizen. So today, how North Korean defectors are provided by South Korean government. So the resettlement support from South Korean government. That is all kind of things we are provided and what kind of system we have to follow. Let's get into first of all the resettlement cost.
Yeah, from the beginning.
Yeah, from the beginning. So when I came to South Korea, I had to work to survive in this country, but I don't know much about South Korea because the kind of this world that I resettled in was like the future of ahead of 100 years. In North Korea, everything was done with manual jobs, but here we have to work with the technology. Technology and human beings combine together and to work and to create this society. So we don't know much about many things, and we cannot work with the South Koreans, even the language difference, language barriers. Like accomplish words. I don't like it.
We have to make an episode on this.
Yeah, okay.
This is a whole new story.
Honestly, so the South Korean government support, the resettlement basic support is 7 million Korean won at the time in 2012.
Just to find a place to live in.
Just like not place to live in. That is other support system, but just basic like needs to eat
or
and clothes.
I was wondering, what if you're an underage kid who came alone or with family? Would you get the same amount as the adults? And then you, on the other hand, you came alone, but you were already over 20, which is the legal age in Korea. So how did that work? How did that change things?
Okay, so that's a good question. So one person, the adult, is provided 7 million Korean won, and 2 people, I brought this paper that I got from the government. So 2 people, 12 million Korean won, and 3 people, so 60 million. So we can get the provided by the government for basic needs. And the other second one is a housing support. They arrange the rent housing and then support deposit. So one person is 13 million Korean won, and 4 family members, or 2 or 3, 4 family members is the same, 17 million Korean won.
17 million
Korean won. So it's they can get bigger house, right? But one person we don't have needed to have a bigger space to live. So only 13 depends on the housing the prices, but basically they provided this amount of money. It is required.
Do they also choose the region for you?
Yes, we have choices where we are gonna live, but there are lots of demanders to live in Seoul and in Seoul, especially because that is capital city of South Korea. So many North Korean defectors wanna live in the capital city in Seoul. So kind of like a game. There are many demanders, so you have to choose provided the housing numbers. And we do 제비뽑기.
Lots?
I don't know the English lots. So if you don't get the sole reason, you have to be in the countryside.
For a while?
No, for all. Depends on your decision. But you cannot live in Seoul. You already lose your game.
Oh, and then after that you don't get any more chances?
Yeah, any more chance. What I thought, okay, Bucheon is the teacher said to North Korean defectors, not to choose. So anyone is not gonna choose the Bucheon. That's why I just chose.
And you got it.
I got it.
Now she lives in Bucheon.
I live in Bucheon. Only I and other North Korean defector choose the Bucheon. Like the second one, let's get the education first. That is more interesting, right? The education system is very well organized. I think sometimes I'm so thankful that I study and that I can educate myself because of this system that South Koreans provided to North Korean defectors. So there is no special process to into university as a North Korean defector. But I wonder, I don't know much about that progress to be at a university as a South Korean student. Like how did you get into university?
For South Korean universities, either we have to create a profile of all the activities during high school and then write about ourselves. I think that's called cover letter or something like that, resume-ish. And then you can also take other tests like 수능, which is kind of like SAT, and or essay tests. There are multiple ways to do it, but it's one of those options.
As a North Korean defector, we don't need to come through that process that you guys did to get into university. As just like we maybe have the essay tests, or depends on university standard. But our university required to have essay the test. So I just did, and then there are not many competitors at the time, maybe or 3 or 4 or 5 competitors at my university, so I don't need to go through that many processes. So no special exam and no special progress to get into university as a North Korean defector. That is very I can say I wanna give this credit to South Korean government, what they built for a program for North Korean defectors. That is, education is very important. Education, no one cannot take away from you.
Yes,
so, true. Yeah, and the other thing is there is the condition, but we are provided the free tuition. Like we don't need to pay the tuition. Or how much tuition at your university?
It
for
depends
1 year.
It depends on departments, but for mine, which is like social department, it would be between 350 and 450, and then I know it gets even higher for engineering and medical schools and other specialties.
Korean one or American one?
Korean one, yeah.
Korean one. I see. So that the 50% of tuition is provided by government, but 50% of tuition is provided by university that I am in.
Okay, so both are paying for half and half, and then you don't have to pay for the tuition.
Yeah,
great.
But there is one condition for 5 years.
So you're given kind of like a grace period.
Yep.
Yeah.
So within that 5 years, you have to be in university. You have to get into university.
Okay.
So and then within since you get into university, you have to graduate within 6 years. Okay. So I came to South Korea in 2013. Exactly, my life started in 2013. And I worked at a company as a finance manager for 4 years. And in 2017, so 4 years later, I guess.
Yeah, so it was close to 5 years.
But that was my plan actually.
Okay.
I didn't have any family members to support my university. I needed money to save and to support myself, to educate educate me. It's a privilege, right? Like many South Korean students cannot get provided this tuition by the government, and it's just so tough to study at university. But we don't need to pay, and we have a free kind of progress to get into university as a North Korean defector. But many North Korean students drop out at university.
Oh, they do?
Because it's tough to follow the subject.
I see.
And also, especially the language barriers, the Konglish words. As a business subject, there are lots of Konglish words that is from the subject from like Europe and other country, and not from Korea, especially the globalization nowadays. So, but North Korean defectors are not easy to follow that subject. They drop out, and second reason is that they don't have any family to support. It's not easy to study and work and make money.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be.
So I wanna just just say, hey, don't get it to university if you come to Korea, especially alone. Just firstly, you have to work at company to make money first, and make a stable life first, and then you can focus on your study.
How did you make the decision? How did you come to the decision that you are going to make money first and then go to university?
That was a reality. Like no one taught me that you have to. No one taught me that you have to do this, and then after work you have to go to university. Now I already was just like a 21, 22, so I am capable person to make a decision what I'm gonna do for my life. Okay, I don't know what I have to study at the time, and then I don't know much about this society. So okay, get into like just work at a company with the South Koreans, and then to learn about new culture, and just belong with the South Korean people. And then I had to figure out what kind of study that I have to do. So that was just my decision, not from others. Many other friends suggest to me to go to university first because I wasn't stupid. So like people recognized my kind of capable capable to study at university. Hey, you are enough to follow the subject, but I don't have much money. I don't have any money, so like my life started with zero. Even though the government supported me 7 million Korean won for basic needs, but I had to pay back to my broker 7 million Korean won.
It was exactly that amount.
Yeah. So I just started my life with zero, like a zero. I had to get a job and just survive in this country. So today we talked about this program for North Korean defectors. So how do you feel?
I feel like, well, I knew this before. Ever since I met you, I knew that you were somebody from out of this world. But I am actually looking to I'm doing my research to move out and then start my new adult life myself. So this is all very interesting, and then it's really cool to see all of the information.
What about the social welfare for North Korean defectors we got from the government?
I think it's great. I think if possible, you should get more, not just financially, but I mean more support in terms of contacts or other educational needs. Yeah, it's.
I'm gonna cry.
I don't think we could ever do. What's the word? I think there's so much more to be done in this area. Especially after hearing your story, I think there will be a lot more younger students out there who would need your story.
Thank you very much. I'm gonna cry. That is the beautiful moment. Okay, so today we talked about these things for the programs provided by South Korean government for North Korean defectors. If you like this video, please subscribe and support my channel and also with the South Korean members. So please
leave questions if you have any
comments, right? So we can communicate each other. Okay, thank you for watching. See you next time.
Thank you. Bye.